What's going on, guys? The biggest battle out there in terms of speed is the Adizero versus the Superfly. And since I will be sending my Superflies back to claims, well, I thought I might as well make this video since I'm not going to be having them anymore. Um, in terms of marketing, this is Adidas's response to the Superfly. For the longest time, Nike was the leader in, the speed market. The lightest boot on the market was the Vapor. Originally, there was no boot out there that could compete with it. And for the longest time, Adidas have been struggling to find a boot that you would compete with it. They had the F50 series. I mean, they really weren't considered like a speed boot, but finally they came through and made this the best boot on the market if you're looking for a speed boot. First of all, let me talk about the Superfly and my experience in them and how they have been compared to the Adizero. The Superfly, it's a synthetic material. It's got the fly wire. It's made out of Tajin upper. Your first day in them is gonna be hell. There's no way you can avoid it, unfortunately. I have another video where you dip these in water for 3 minutes or more, and that will definitely help out. But regardless, your first day in them is going to be hell. There's no way to really break these in except by using them. I've heard people sticking them in the freezer and doing all this. Well, there's no avoiding it. You're going to have a bad day in them, first 2, 3, 4, days in them. After a while, though, it starts to soften up. It starts to give in. But you notice this boot itself is like so stiff in the beginning. And, there's no way to avoid it. It's a synthetic material. It's expected. So finally when you break these in and they start feeling good, they were all right. For a boot that's $400, you would expect it to, be a little bit more, I don't know, softer. They fixed out the Superfly 3. I guess it's softer than this one. It's easier to break in. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Don't want to try it. This is just a piece of junk, really. I'll give it its pros. One of the good things about the Superfly and one of the things that really stand out is the traction you get with them. These have super grip. Like, it feels like you have a track shoe on at times. You have a really good grip on whatever surface you're playing on. I've played in natural grass. That's the best way to use these. I was hesitant to use these on turf because turf is just already as it is, dangerous to play in with regular firm ground shoes. And with the Superflies that I had such a good grip on them, I was kind of worried that I might have too much grip on turf and then like break something or twist something or get caught or whatever. But by far, this is the best traction you can get on a boot. The sand studs, I don't know if they work. To me, they're just a gimmick. Pros don't even use them, but then again, they do play on different surfaces. They play on the nicest pitch you can think of on wet conditions. So if you see most pros with Superflies, they have a mixed sole plate. What they do is they take these out and they take the scent studs out, and then they just put a soft ground studs on them. So people say, oh well, scent studs, they don't work because the pros don't use them. Some pros do, very rarely though. I don't know if they worked. Supposedly the little circle part, real round bit, supposed to like extend outwards. All I know is when I take out my insoles, you can see an indent where these two are, so it might be working. Another thing that's really nice is right here at the front. Those little bits are really grippy and they do work. Now, if you're gonna play in mud, that's soon gonna disappear. When I played in the winter, these were, covered in mud, so it kind of defeated the purpose of having them. But they do work. The fly wire, it's supposed to give you a better touch on the ball, better tighter feel, less weight, whatever, blah blah blah. I don't know. All I know is it makes the boot uncomfortable and stiff on its first days. Then once it gives it in, it's all right. When I had these heavily broken in, when I was doing these day in day out, they felt like slippers on my feet. They were all right. They were great. But it's a synthetic material and it can only do so much. But they're all right. I mean, at the time I thought they were the best boot out there until I tried these. But I'll get to those in just a bit. But hey, if you guys are thinking about, if you're in the market and you're like, hey, well, Vapor or Superfly, which one? Well, the Vapors now don't have the lace cover anymore. The material is going to be a lot thicker than these, but it's going to be more comfortable. There's no reason to spend $400 on these. If you can get them on sale, sure, go for it. I think everybody at least once should go with the Superfly experience. It's a shitty experience in the beginning because you have to break them in and they're just a pain. Another thing I suggest doing if you need help breaking these in, don't use the original insoles. I hate them personally. I think they're like sandpaper. They suck. Lately, well, ever since I had them, I use my S3 insoles, which were really comfortable, and they were made out of a different material. And then when I got the Adizeros, it came with two insoles. One of them was the Comfort, which I use with these. The others were the Super Light. And I was curious one day, and I actually went for it. I tried using the Super Lights with my Superflies, and they actually worked out really well. And that's what I've been using since. They're really thin, thinner than the ones Nike come with, and they're a lot comfortable too. And they give you a little bit more space too, if that's what you're having problems with. I got these really tight. I mean, really snug. They were, when I first bought them, I thought they were too small. They're like half a size small, but it actually fit me perfect. What it was is I went to my local shop to get these. They're out of the size I had thought I wanted, 8.5. I thought that was my size. I hadn't tried any other size smaller because I already felt that they were, snug enough. But they're like, sorry, man, we're out of it. I have an 8 if you want to try it on. And I was desperate. I was like, fuck it, I'll try it on. I tried it on, and it was actually, despite it being very tight and very uncomfortable, I noticed lengthwise it was good. It was perfect. There's no space in between my toes. There's no slipping. There's not gonna be any friction. So I was like, you know what, I'll go for these. So shockingly, I went with the 8, and they fit me perfect. If you look at Ronaldo, he used to wear his shoes like 2 sizes down because that's how snug of a fit he wanted. Maybe don't exaggerate that much, but if you have a chance to go in a local shop, make sure and try them all on. Try on all the sizes, because you might think that you're 8.5, but it's because you haven't tried an 8, And then when you try an 8, you're like, well, actually, these are actually they fit better, and there you go. Then you find out your true size. I used to think that I was a size 9 in these. Turns out I'm an 8. So the best way is just to try them on. But that is the Superfly. There's not really much to say about it. The shots are great. The tongue has a little bit of padding right here, and I guess that helps give your shots a little oomph. But yeah, definitely when I was taking shots with these, I mean, I felt a lot of power coming through them. They're synthetic material. It was good. Shots are good with these. Dribbling, all that, yeah. Honestly, it just depends on the player. If you're one of those people that just have that mentality, like, oh, I need to start dribbling because I have Vapors on. Oh, I have my S3s on. I need to start controlling the game. I need to start passing the ball around. I mean, I noticed that, people that wear these think they're like Ronaldo, and they start doing tricks and stuff that they thought they couldn't do or whatever. But yeah, like I said, they give you really good grip. That's the one thing I can, give props to Nike, that their sole plate is amazing. It's got a really good traction. Like I said, they did feel like speed boots just because of that reason. Their only flaw is the cracked sole plate, and that's why I'm sending these back. So yeah, that's the only durability issue I have with this boot. Besides that, they're solid. I mean, there's no, these aren't going to separate from the upper. These are going to be, they're never going to fall apart on you. Only the sole plate. But people say, well, okay, Superfly, over Vapor. I got that. Now, what about Superfly versus Adizero? Well, these are two completely different experiences. I'll tell you that right off the bat. The Adizero, the leather Adizero, is the best boot on the market today. If you're looking in terms of lightness and speed, if you're in the market for a speed boot, this is the one to go for. There's no contest. There's no other boot that can compare with it, that can compete with it. Absolutely not. There's no boot on the market today that's better than the Adizero. The leather one, not the synthetic, the leather one. Right off the bat, it's already 6 ounces. This is 7.8, ounces. And yes, they're heavier. You hold these in your hand, you're like, what the hell? You're almost like put off by how light they are. Like, well, are these gonna fall apart on my feet? Are they gonna like do anything? I'm kind of worried. They're so light. But yeah, the Adizero, the leather Adizero is amazing. The leather is so thin, and the thing is, there's only leather on right there and right there. If you notice, it's two-tone because the rest of it's synthetic. This is synthetic, folks. This isn't leather. Just letting you know off the bat. They're so thin. They're so light. The leather is really nice, soft, and you can tell I've used these for quite a bit. Like, these are hella soft. Like, I cannot stress. These are softer than my ID Pures right now. That's how soft they are. I had these for, I want to say 2 months now. And my first day in them, they were amazing. I had no problems breaking them in. No problems. No blisters. No nothing. A pain-free experience compared to these. Horrible, horrible, horrible. First day in them was the sex. It was amazing. And a lot of people say, well, come on, this sole plate, it's a joke. The Sprint frame, come on, this thing's a cheap piece of plastic. It's cheaper than the plastic on my toys. But hey, I was one of those people that thought that, this was a flimsy, a cheap, it looked like it was going to break on me at any given time. Like, this is just a cheap plastic. It's going to fall apart on me. Oh, it's going to be horrible. And you know what? These have worked amazingly. It's a whole new layout. The studs are like triangles. What the fuck? But hey, they work. And Adidas have really won things over with this sole plate. They really have. Because now they've incorporated it with their Predators and their ID Pures. And it's just stealing the show at the moment because it's so light. It makes the boot so much lighter. And it gives you amazing traction. Now, I said the Superfly had really good traction. It does. It has amazing traction, actually. The best traction you can have on a boot. But at times it feels like it has too much grip. And that worries me a little bit, especially on natural surfaces. Like, if you have too much grip on, just regular grass, imagine on turf. These, I've had no problems in them whatsoever. I've had about the same amount of grip, a little bit less grip on them, but they work fine. The studs, everything, the sole plate just works perfectly. And on turf, these are perfect to use too. So I've had no issues with the sole plate. It's worked fine. I mean, the boot itself, it's so light. But after that, you just get over it. You get over how light they are quick. Like, okay, these are light. Yeah, whatever. How about the experience? The leather is so soft. You get a great touch on the ball. It's a pillow on your feet, really. And, and if you're comparing it to the Superfly, they're just two completely different boots. It's funny how they're both considered speed boots, but at the end of the day, Adidas steal the show with the Adizero, the leather Adizero. I have nothing to say about the synthetic ones or the primes. I just think that a leather boot at 6 ounces is just, why would you even consider anything else? Because a synthetic model of this is going to give you a different experience. And if I was going to go synthetic-wise, if I had to choose between a Adizero Prime or a synthetic Adizero, honestly, I would go with the Superfly instead. Because if you're looking for a synthetic boot, a synthetic speed boot, then I'd go with the Superfly. But if you're looking for a leather boot that's gonna give you you know, an amazing experience. No break-in period. You know, it's really, I don't know. To me, these are slippers. You know, they are the best boot on the market today, just because of how thin the leather is, but how soft of a touch on the ball you get. You know, if your main concern is the best touch on the ball I can get, this is the boot for you. Shots wise, advantage goes to Superflies because they are a synthetic material. They don't absorb, you know, the power. You know, people say, "Oh, well, leather obviously it absorbs some of the power that you put into your shots." You know, if you're complaining that your boots are giving you shitty shots, that's just you, bro. Like, you don't know how to shoot, or you need to work on your shooting. You need to put more power into it. I have no problem shooting with either one of them, but I do notice my shots are a little bit better with these. But then these are just a better experience, and you know, you get used to it. You get used to like the difference in shots you get between the two. But at the end of the day, I can still shoot, you know, the same way. It's just a different feel. But yeah, there really is no contest when it comes to the speed boot. The best one is the leather Adizero, and another great thing about these is they're coming out with some pure class colorways. You know, they got the whiteouts coming. They had blackouts. You know, they have so many colorways, and their Adidas is just stealing the show with the Adizero, the sole plate, everything. Nike is falling behind. And a boot valued at $400 is just, I'd rather spend $400 and get 2 pairs of these. Okay, that's how better this is compared to this. Durability, yes, these are going to be better because they're not leather. But experience-wise, go with these. There is no contest. I hope this helps. This will be my last video with the Superfly, so say goodbye to these. They will be sent back to its maker because they have a crack and they suck, and well, honestly, I'm not going to miss you. So goodbye.